Yeah, I have no idea what was going on with that, but we back. I have no idea what that was and or why that happened or why you guys could not still hear me possibly. I don't know. Um I don't know if I'm having a technical difficulty or not, but for some reason either the audio is going bad because my audio sounds good, but I can't. Let me see. Let me just make sure you guys. Yep, that's working good. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. Um, yeah, I can't really figure out. It says it's working, and let me test it just to make sure. Yep, I think we're good. I don't know why. Maybe some of these audios. Somebody was texting me saying it wasn't working, but I don't. I don't understand what that was. But we seem to be good to go. So let's move on. Sorry about that, and we'll move. So as I was saying, um, we have Tomiyasu coming in, and what that might mean is going three to the back is what this reporter from Syria was saying to FK. And so I wanted to take a look at what that might mean and what that might look like for us. It does answer a lot of questions. He definitely made FK scratch his head. And so I wanted to bring it to you guys and see what you thought about it and how, what we would look like and if we're actually capable of pulling something like that off. So I'm going to share my screen and have you guys take a look at. I just did a little squad selector type of deal, and have you guys take a look at it. All right. So here's what we got. Here's what we got. So at the three, we got Burn Leno in the back. Okay. I don't think that he has. I can't see him changing him at this point. I think something crazy would have to happen, like we lose to Norwich or something like that, for him to change. But I think for right now, I think that Bernardo has is probably going to keep his spot. And so what the reporter was saying is that we might go with this three here, with Gabriel on the left, Ben White down the middle, and Tamayasu on the right. And what was interesting was that he said that Tamayasu can play the right or the left. And we've seen that because we've seen that he's quite ambidextrous with his feet. So it's pretty cool that he can do that. I don't know that like Gabriel is very left footed, and in doing that, I mean, I guess maybe like in an emergency situation, we can move him over there or something like that. But I like him over there. And what FK was also saying was like, wow, like I seriously saw him as a right back, and he's like, no, no, I mean he is a center half. And so again, I was like, what's this? And then it would also answer another question. It would mean, like they they wanted Ainsley Maitland-Niles to stay. So, what does that mean for him? Right. And so what I look at it is that could he play this wingback spot? This one right here. Actually, this app didn't have, for some reason, it didn't have Ainsley Maitland-Niles in there. I don't know if they thought they were, hopefully they didn't put him over on Everton or something like that. So, I don't know, but for some reason I couldn't pull him up. That's why this spot is blank. But it does let us have a discussion about what we could potentially look like. And so if you have Ainsley here, and I think that he could flourish there because he's defensive enough and fast enough and tricky enough to get back and help. But he also puts good crosses in, and we also saw how well he teamed up with Pepe. And so I think that it would be in I think that would be a good, because we have to this year. Pepe is it's kind of do or die for him. At that amount of money, I know we don't necessarily want to attach an amount of money to a player, but in our instance, we can't afford to not get something great out of spending, out of using our club record signing in this way. We just can't, we can't get. He has to keep growing. he has to almost maximize his potential, or people are going to look at him as not being good enough. And so maybe with Ainsley Maitland-Niles and with Tomiyasu there, maybe they can unlock Pepe. And so then we have in the middle, the only issue that I see with having this back four is, where does Odegaard play? Does Odegaard play in this spot? Because if you have this back four, then that means, I mean, this kind of middle four with two wing backs and two midfielders. Remember, during Man City, he put Odegaard in this Thomas Partey spot and put Granit Xhaka here where Lukanga is. And we saw how disastrous that turned out to be. That was, I mean, really, Man City just came and just threaded pass after pass after pass after cross after cross. And we were just getting bombarded like it was D-Day. It was just like awful. And so I don't really know where you play, and I definitely, please, for the love of everything, do not play him as a wingback. I know, this manager loves to shoehorn players in weird positions, but please don't let it be as a wingback, and please don't let it be as one of these two. And so if Odegaard has to play one of these spots, I'm all for it. I don't know. Saka is gonna. Saka, it seems to be, is going to be like a staple with England. Even if he doesn't play, it seems like this manager wants him there, and good on him. But he hasn't really had that entire month of rest that normal players get in the off season, and he won't get it this summer because of the World Cup. And so we need to, so maybe that left kind of forward spot might suit him. I don't know if that will help Aubameyang flourish because because we need somebody coming through the middle, and maybe Lukanga can, and maybe him and Partey can. I remember Partey dropping some absolute dimes for Lacazette through the middle, so maybe he can do the same thing. But that's not really. We brought Odegaard in for that, and so in a three, where do you put him? And so that's an interesting. He does like to drift off to the right, and so you could see him putting Martin Odegaard there. Do I have a Martin Odegaard? Yeah, we got one right here. So you could see something like this. And then he also he doesn't ever like to leave Smith Rowe out. And so we could do something, we could have something that looks like this, where you have Smith Rowe on the left and you have Odegaard on the right, and both of them doing everything that they can to feed Aubameyang for his tap ins and for his amazing goals and bends in until there was right foot and stuff like that. But then that leaves Pepe on the bench, leaves Saka on the bench, which that's not a bad impact. But I just, in terms of Pepe, at least, I don't necessarily mind either Smith Rowe or Saka starting on the bench, because I think we play them way too much. But would they be okay with that? Especially Pepe. I know Saka and Smith Rowe are, they're kids and they're happy to be there. And, they probably want to break. Well, not necessarily Smith Rowe, because he hasn't played as much as Saka has because of the Euros and stuff like that. But, Odegaard was brought here to start. And so if your plan is to go to a 3-4-3 or three at the back, how do you get Smith Rowe, Saka, Pepe, and Odegaard into a team? It seems like these three and these three here have to be there in order for us to not just bleed goals, to be able to control a game, to keep possession. That's what he likes to do. He wants to play a game with keeping possession, because it seems like every time that the opposition has the ball, no matter what team we played so far, it's been at the, here comes balls into the box, and for some reason we can't get them away and we get scored on. Even throw-ins, we get scored on. So hopefully, with the addition of Tomiyasu, it will help alleviate some of those defensive problems. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I personally, we were good with three at the back with David Luiz there and Holding and Gabriel. We were pretty solid. But I think our issues have to do with scoring. I think that it's great if we stop letting in stupid goals. I think that's only half of the problem. I think the other half of the problem is that we don't score. We just don't score. And so maybe he addresses that problem in the summer. Um, with bringing in someone young and fresh and hungry and ready to rock and roll that can, I mean, he likes this Project 23 thing. That's just what I'm calling it because all these guys are 23 and under. And so he's doing this Project 23 thing. So that means that, Bumyang, Lacazette, anybody that's, these older guys are going to be, it appears to be on their way out of the door. Maybe that's why we heard the rumors of them listening to offers from a Bumyang, because he just simply is, he doesn't want to deal with kind of like these older statesmen. And while that sounds great on paper, I don't know that it is good in terms of getting us to where we're supposed to be, because you're what you're seeing is with that lineup is a severe lack of experience at the top level. Okay. None of these guys have even sniffed anything close to a Champions League quarterfinal, semifinal, any of that sort of thing. We do have players who, well, except Thomas, but Thomas's problem is he hasn't stayed healthy. So what do? We have to figure out a way to keep these guys healthy. And so I've been reaching out to a lot of the guys on Twitter who are health oriented, who are fitness oriented, and I'm gonna start. Well, I'm just gonna try to invite them on and see if they're willing to talk about, because it's got to be a maturity, it's got to be a development of this team, and it's got to be health, because we have to develop their intelligence. We have to develop them physically, and then we have to get them to sort of sign on and commit to this project. And so, what I plan on doing, and I also want to see if we're going to keeping on with Project 23, which is what Vinay said. Let me see if I can pull that up. Where Vinay was talking about this morning, talking about the sort of outlook of the club and the future of the club, bringing in fresh young talent from around the world and developing them. If we're so it sounds like to me, as long as this current management system and structure is in place, they're gonna go forward with Project 23. And so I want to have some of the guys who know about, these young players around the world, um, come onto the show and talk about some of the talent that are around the world that we can potentially, pull in. I mean, I know that's sort of our history, and we were known for doing that at a certain point. But I don't know about this young. I mean, I know some players did come in young, but I don't know if they were this experienced. Inexperienced is my issue. I think that's the number one. I don't necessarily mind young, but inexperienced. All right. Because just for example, I'm just throwing out his name and we're not going to get him, but Mbappe is incredibly young, but he's incredibly experienced. And so, but there's not a lot of players who have that youth and experience, right? They might be starting week in and week out, but where they're starting, the leagues they're playing in, the competition that they're playing in means a lot. So if we're going to continue with this Project 23, we're going to have conversations I would love to have podcast conversations with some of the talent that I've identified online, and see if we can come up with some solutions to to this, and see if it's going to work. Hopelessly, I am optimistic. I want it to work, because if this is where we're going to go, then I want it to work. Despite how I feel about the current management, I would love to be proven wrong about this management, but I care less about what they say. I always say that. I care less about what they say. I care about what they do. Right. And so it's going to be a very interesting ordeal, but hopefully if that's what they want to do, um hopefully the players want to do it and they commit to it. So let me see if I can find Vinay's um Let me see if I can find Vinay's. Yeah, here we go. Um, see if I can find Vinay's comments. Yeah, so Simon Collins is the person who wrote the story. Let me pull this up for you on Football London, and he has some of the excerpts online. So let's just touch on that, and that'll kind of give us some more insight into what the current management wants to do. So as you can see here, yeah. So Simon Collins, big shout to him for the article, and it says Vinay has, he sent a message out to all the staff last night after the window shut and called for unity and expressed confidence the club will come out fighting. Also explaining Arsenal's transfer business this summer. And then, he put some comments in the bottom that said, at times like this, it is crucial we stick together and stay positive. We have a very important run of games coming up after the international break, and I'm confident we can come out fighting. Our strategy is to fill our squad with some of Europe's most exciting young talent, with players from both our academy and further afield that can grow and develop together under Mikel to take us where we want to go. Now, we talked about this yesterday. We talked about how this is not uh, uh, a strategy that I think works. Not at the highest level and not in the Premier League. I mean, you can't really show me a project outside of, I would say, the most recent project that worked with this like this was probably when Monaco had their squad with Mbappe and all those guys that they won the league, that they won League One that year, beating PSG and all those guys, and then immediately they were disbanded. Mbappe went to PSG, and then you saw like that just they just disintegrated that squad. Monaco made a ton of money, and we really haven't heard from Monaco since. Like let me look and see where Monaco finished last year. Monaco standings 2020. Let's see. So they finished. Let's see. Last year they finished 14th. No, that's this year. I want to go back a year. Where did they finish? Yeah, they finished third. So they did pretty well. And then before that, they finished ninth. And then I think the year before that. Yeah. So the year that they sold Mbappe, which was I believe was 2018, they finished 17th because they just gutted their squad. Right. And then, 2019, they finished ninth, which is not a Champions League place. And then last year it was a shortened year, but they finished third. And so they have worked their way back. But they took a tremendous dip when they gutted their team, right? But that's the thing. If we're gonna go with this young talent squad, then we have to be prepared for teams coming in and just picking our bones. And I don't know if that's the correct way of going about it. I think that if you don't have a good mix of veterans who are willing to lead and hang around, then you're just going to have people looking at our club as a stepping stone, right? Instead of just like, because I don't know that in this league there are four teams always operate like that. Okay, Liverpool, Chelsea, and both Manchester clubs, right? And there's only four Champions League places in the Premier League. and they go out, they spend money, right? Liverpool might not spend as much, but because they are ran so well, you would never know it. They identify talent, but they identify veteran talent who can keep them at their current level. And they bring in, and then they run their academy. If somebody's not working out, they get good money for them. They sell before the contracts are run out. They just run their company very well. They just run their business very well, their club. Chelsea is their machine. However you want to look at it, and however, whatever your thoughts about Roman is, I mean, they run that club well. He injects cash when he needs to, but they sell players that aren't really helping, that are fringe players, and they rotate coaches. They have an expectation or being in and around the Champions League, quarterfinals, semifinals, finals, and if you don't take them there, then you can't be manager of Chelsea Football Club. And so I would think that's the thing that we want to be. That's the thing we would aspire to, but it takes a finely oiled machine to get to that point. And right now we are sputtering. We can't even score goals, right? We are 20th in the league in -9 in goal differential. How is it that we think that we're going to get back to Champions League? And so I want to spend this week talking about how we can possibly get there. I have no idea. Hopefully with this squad. And the thing is, I don't know so much. I don't even know, like, the squad that I laid out is probably it's probably like 95% close to, if you were picking a team, that's what you would pick. If you have a better pick, do me a favor, leave it in the comments. Put it in the chat, and we can discuss it, or we can discuss it this week. But I'm going to keep reaching out to people, and that's just really going to be the question. With this current squad, how far can we go? Assuming that they buy in and they execute. That's the thing. I mean, if they don't buy in and execute, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't. But what I'm saying is, assuming that they will buy in, assuming that they will execute, how far can we go? Where's the ceiling? Is it top 4? Is it top 6? Is it back to 8th where we came from? Because the first thing we have to do with these first few games is climb out of the basement, right? And we're going against our fellow basement dwellers, Norwich, and they want to win a game just as bad as we do, because they are like an ultimate yo-yo club. They're in, they're out. They're in, they're out. They're in, they're out. They're up, they're down. They're up, they're down. And so they want to, they might be looking at us like, yo, let's stomp on them while they're down. Let's not give them an opportunity to use us as a springboard to move up the table. Let's stomp on them now. Okay. And so we have to be wary of that. And if we're not, and we play foolish and we let in stupid goals and we don't put in any chances, then we're going to find ourselves in a bad spot where we're going to be walking into the North London Derby under 5 points. Can you imagine? Could you imagine losing the first 4 games of the season? Arsenal Football Club? That would be devastating, right? And so you would think that heads are going to roll, but I can tell you, I don't think they are. I think they're going to stick with him to the end, right? The manager who is on everyone's lips right now, Antonio Conte, just signed a new deal to be on Sky Sports and do their Champions League coverage, right? I'm sure they're paying him pretty well, right? Because they signed a person who just won Serie A, right? And whose club, couldn't match his ambition, so he had to move on. So I can't see him coming mid-year, but it depends on if we want to put our big boy pants on. Like, if we lose another 2 or 3 games, our next 2 or 3 games, and we let this current management go, and our owners put their big boy pants on and say, we will pay you whatever you want to cancel that contract and come over here and coach us, then maybe he does, right? But if they come with something silly, he's going to say, no, I'm stress-free right now. Yeah, I want to coach, right? But I'm stress-free right now. Let me enjoy this. I'll see you guys. Get a caretaker manager. Let Murdersacker run the year out, and then I'll start fresh next year, right? Or something like that. And we're right back where we started. This the thought of that is kind of depressing. So let's move on from that. But yeah, I just wanted to sort of touch on that. Another thing, I'm not going to, drag this stream out. So, unless we get some really, really big news, two other things we're going to have two more players out. It looks like, number one, Granit Xhaka has COVID. And so I think he went to, he showed up at the stadium. I'm sure, I don't know if they do daily tests, or I'm sure they probably do daily tests. And it came out that he tested positive, and he had, I think one of the articles say he showed symptoms this morning. And so, it came out, but for us, it showed, it came out pretty late in the evening that he tested positive for COVID. So he's going to be out for probably the length of the international break. And then so we, he was, so he was out anyway, but now he has to deal with COVID. So that's just, we just cannot get COVID is COVID. And I don't want to say that's, that is what it is. I'm just saying we just cannot get away from COVID in our team. I feel like we were the first club I think we were, because Mikel was the first person to sort of publicly get COVID. And then now, that starting a new year off, man, it has just rampaged us. I would have thought that like they would have, I don't know, shut some things down, something with, because especially with our club, because you might not test positive right away, right? You might not get symptoms right away. And one thing that I asked, I asked this online on Twitter earlier, because we do this thing now where we're asking, like our medical records and things like that are just kind of public knowledge now. Here, this is just where we are, right? But I wonder how many of them are fully vaccinated, and because it's just ravaging our club. So I wonder how many of our team and staff and all the civilian kind of people that are walking around, the photographers, the this and that, the guy who is in Gunnosaurus, like how many of these guys are actually vaccinated? Because I think if everybody was vaccinated, I know of course you can still get anything and being fully vaccinated, but usually the rate at which people test positive for COVID and have symptoms and things like that is very, very, very low. And so it leads me to believe that not everybody, decided to get vaccinated, which is obviously their choice. I don't, but the only thing I would say is, it's kind of taking its toll on the team if that's the case. So I know they have here in the NFL, it's a big thing because here in America, you gotta take one for the team, and that's what they expect and things like that. And people are having issues, most notably Cam Newton. That's why Cam was kind of unceremoniously, kicked off the Patriots because he refused to get vaccinated. So, yeah, it's just like how long is this going to go? I really don't know. But if we're going to have this problem for the first, I don't know how long, because, theoretically this could drag into the new year. If every week 2 players get test positive, then because if it's one, then it's going to be another one. So, how long is this going to last? I don't really know what they can do about it, right? The only thing you can do is isolate and clean and things like that, which I'm sure they're doing, but obviously it's not enough because players are still testing positive. And so, yeah, so, despite what my personal feelings about him, I don't want to see anyone get sick or anything like that. So I want to wish him and his family the best of health. I know he has young children, so hopefully, his wife, his immediate family, I hope they are okay, and I hope his teammates are okay, and the staff who have been in and around him, I hope they, don't have any serious bouts of COVID. And so the second issue that we have now is Sead Kolasinac getting hurt And I know that like it's kind of a big deal for us because we were hoping that a Turkish club would pick him up because their window runs a little bit like I think a week longer than the Premier Leagues. And so yeah, but he got hurt. He got hurt by Jules Kounde. The I think is he French? I think he's French. I don't know for sure. But yeah, so I saw the video and he got clipped pretty hard and he was limping off and stuff got hurt. So now that might be in jeopardy. And so I didn't think he was leaving personally. I thought that just would have been a bonus. I'm sure he's probably going to run down his deal, because no one wants to pay him what he wants to be paid. So just like he did for the contract that he received from Arsenal, he's probably willing to do it again and run down the deal. And so we're kind of stuck with him. To be fair, he's played decently, but I think that we're looking for somebody at a different level. I think we're looking for someone who can play a little bit more decently. And hopefully we find that and when he gets when everybody's seemingly back to health. I mean, we couldn't really count on Xhaka anyway because he got sent off and he's going to be out for 3 games, but hopefully the rest of the players, Thomas can come back. Um, we can just have everybody back and ready to go. Lukonga can come back. Tierney's okay. He seemed to be okay. He kind of limped off. He seemed to be okay. Gabriel can come back from his kind of chronic knee issues. Odegaard hasn't shown any of his chronic knee issues. Tomiyasu is okay. He comes back from Japan and it sort of integrates in. I really wish, I understand these guys love playing, representing their country. So I don't want to, I just wish that like for this, and I know Japan probably wants to get into the World Cup. So I'm saying I don't, I'm kind of two minds because I wish like if he got a move, he just said, you know what, guys, can you do this one without me? I really need to go to my club and train so that I'm ready to rock and roll. But hey, I understand. He's a young guy. He wants to represent his country. He has won things internationally. So I understand. I just know us. And it seems like we aren't willing to like, okay, he's been playing, so he should be fit and ready to go. Get him in. We're just not gonna do that. And so, the I think the faster we get him in the door, the faster we get him a place to stay. Hopefully they're working on it now. Or, the club is working on him to have a place to stay, this and that, interpreters if he needs it. Um, and get him acclimated because we need him because it's either our right side that looks awful or our left side that looks awful. And it's weird because I haven't said our left side looks awful in a long time because of Gabrielle and Tyranny. But because of our inflexibility and our willingness to not kind of shift the way we're playing mid game because of some things that are going on. I'm thinking about the Chelsea game where Reece James was running all over us and crossing balls in. Um, it's an issue on the left now, and we haven't had Gabriel. So I'm really hoping. I know he went back to training. Hopefully, he does not have any issues. And so Aubameyang, I saw a clip when I was getting ready for the stream. I saw him playing. He had a goal disallowed. Next, he got a yellow for banging in the goal anyway. So yeah, I hope that he can hopefully he scores. I'll do a quick check and see if I know people love to put up things. So hopefully it'd be nice if he scored. Be great. One thing. Let's see. Yeah, see, they're talking about Granite having COVID. US plays tomorrow. Maybe I will do a live stream, with the US game. I don't know. We'll see. No, I haven't seen. They're not showing anything about Alba yet. Yeah, I know one. Yeah, I was just checking to see if they had shown anything about Alba. Just do a quick search and see if anybody said had shown anything. One thing that makes me, kind of bitter is that the media over there just, man, they see an opportunity to pile on us, and man, they just go for it. Man, I don't understand. I don't know what it is about our club. Like, Man City lost their first game to Tottenham and nothing, right? Tottenham lost to, like a C team in Portugal during that conference league thing. Nothing, right? No, us, no. They just pile on. I don't know why they did this. I don't know why they did that. I don't understand their strategy. They don't have a plan. They don't have this. They don't have that. And it's just like, can you find another target, please? I mean, seriously. No, there's nothing. So whatever. It is what it is. But we move on. Yeah, so I don't really understand, and I'm sure like it's been going on longer than I've been a goner. So I'm sure there's a specific reason for it. I don't know, maybe because we won so much in the past. Who knows? Um, but it's kind of annoying. That you want to look at sort a lot of the mainstream media to get some confirmed news and things like that, but then you see some of the things that they say about our club, and it's just like, you know what, I'll just get it secondhand or something like that, because it's so annoying. It's not something that I'm used to here, that the outlets constantly talk about your team. We have some players like here, they talk a lot about, Tom Brady, LeBron, Tiger Woods, people, they do talk about them a lot, right? But they don't constantly pound and pile on. Maybe the Lakers, right? And especially the Lakers because of LeBron being there now. But the Lakers have always kind of been a target. I'm sure in the New York area, the Knicks are always the subject of some sort of scrutiny or something like that. But um, it's just so weird, and maybe just because I'm in the Arsenal sort of bubble, that I see it a lot. But it seems like some of the pundits always have something to say, and they never say anything positive. I know that we are down right now, but they are like piling on us, and then you see some of the former Arsenal players are doing the same thing, and it's wild. It's like, okay, well, they're paying you to do a job, right? They're paying you to do a job, and you got to do what you got to do. But I just don't understand. I'm glad that Ian Wright doesn't do that. I know he can be sort of hyper positive sometimes, and but I think that right now this situation is kind of weighing on him, and you can see it. But he's just not like bombing us out, and you don't have to go that far to get your point across. You can be disappointed, but like me, I am no fan of this current management, any of them, from the manager all the way up to the top, all the way up to the owner. I'm not a fan, right? But I'm not gonna sit and I didn't create this platform to sit here and complain about a group of men who don't really care about me. I care about the product on the field and how that can be better. I mean, that's why this show was called Ghost of Highbury, because at Highbury we crushed it, right? And we got this, we got sold a dream. If you don't know this story, we got sold a dream that we needed, and the Highbury is small. It's a small stadium. It's ancient almost, right? But it was intimate, right? And we have some great memories there. The person who got me to even consider watching this sport is named the King of Highbury, Thierry Henry. Like, I remember seeing him, and I'm just thinking, like, I didn't know that like somebody could. I didn't even know that people could play football at a high level like this until I saw him, and he was the king, right? But that stadium was small. We were doing Champions Leagues and stuff like that, and that place was like a matchbox, right? And so they said we need a bigger place, which I don't really mind. but it was the way they sold it to the fans that has so many of us upset with what's going on right now. Everybody has to take a dip, right? But they said we're going to move, right? We need to get, we need a bigger stadium. We're going to make a state of the art stadium, which it is. It's nice. I've been there. It's amazing. I love it. I've taken tours. It's great, right? But you told us that you were going to run this company, this football club, so that we can compete with Bayern Munich's, with the Chelseas, with the Man Cities, right? With the PSGs. Okay. We understand that you don't have oil money, right? We understand that you're not an baron or anything like that. But, and we understand that you might not be able to spend 300 million every year, like Real Madrid buying Galacticos, right? But my issue is, I would say some of it is the money, because this management has gone several years with spending just a little bit of money, and that's not good enough, especially when you looked at those squads, right? Especially when you looked at those squads, the money that was being spent wasn't enough, and it was wrong, right? Now, if it's one or the other, then you can kind of say, all right, well, maybe some people need to go, right? But for us, it's been both consistently for 10 years, even more, right? Because Papa Wenger, capped for a lot of those guys. I mean, he shot bail for those guys for a long time, ever since they've been owners, right? And we could have went a different direction, right? But as a fan base, we said no. We don't want, we don't want, we didn't want Usmanov. We didn't want to go that route because we thought we were too high and mighty for that, right? And now you say, that the Super League ain't looking too bad now. Oh well, we about competition, but we need something different. And so we need to figure out to get back. We need to get back to a place where we are run properly. And that means spending money, because it takes money to make money. You got to spend money to make it, invest properly, but you have to do it in a smart and proper way. And both of those, the people that we bought, the money we've wasted, has just been astronomical. When you look at the list of and amount of money that we spent over the years, you would think the way we rail on the owners, that's the only reason we want them out is that we don't spend money, and that's just not true, right? The fact, if you think that KSC hasn't spent money, they haven't spent a lot, but they have spent. But what I would argue is the bigger issue is that they haven't spent it. They haven't spent it correctly. The players that they've bought, the managers that they've invested in, it's just not been right. And even when Unai Emery was here, and he was a far more experienced manager than Mikel is, he tried. It's well documented that he wanted certain players, right? He wanted certain players, but we got him it seems like we got like if he had a list of, I don't know, like 3 or 4 positions, and then he had like 7 people in each position that he would possibly take. It seems like we got like the 5th person on the list in every category, right? And you could say, okay, well, we couldn't get the first because of whatever, we need so much, but we got you the second guy right here. Okay, we got the third guy here, or we got the second guy here, and we got number 1 here, because we can do one number 1 that you want, right? But we might have to get the second guy here, the third guy here, the second guy here, right? But it seems like everybody we've purchased, over the last few years have just been like the 5th guy they wanted, right? And so maybe that's why Mikel said, you know what? I can see what they're going to do, right? So instead, all right, let's do Project 23. And let's get some young people in that we can mold. So if they don't work out, or we can, or if I figure out they're what I want, but I need a higher caliber of what I want, but they're still good, and somebody wants them, then we can sell and make a profit and turn around and, lift our profile a little bit. But right now we have a team, and I don't want to say a team, because we've gotten rid of a lot of people over the past year. We have probably still 7 to 8 players who, based on what we saw when we did this, when we picked the squad and things like that, don't fit that, right? So, let me throw this up for you one more time, real quick before we jump. And let me just, because it had a list of all of the players. Share the screen. Yeah, here. All right, I'm just gonna throw them down here. Okay, so you can just pull the name up here. Okay, Lacazette, deal's running out. He's gone next year. Okay, Callum Chambers, contract's running out. He's probably gonna be gone next year. Cedric Soares has 2 years left, I believe. And I think they would listen. They would definitely listen to offers, and they would definitely, get him out of here if they could. I think he'll just, I just think that's one of those ones where Mikel will say, you know what, I botched this. I thought he would be good. He's not. Let's get rid. David Luiz is not here anymore. Eddie Nketiah, we talked about him yesterday, where he made the wrong move, in my opinion. I'm not saying, I think, I don't, I don't know what I would do in that position, but I think I know what I would do. And if my goal is to play football at a high level, the only way you're going to get there is by actually playing, right? If in our current team right now, he's not playing. There's no room. There's not enough games. He's not going to play, right? So I think he made the wrong move, and his contract's running out too. Balogun needed to go on loan, I believe, but he didn't. Granit Xhaka has another, so now we have him for 3 years, I think, right? And so I don't know what's going to happen with him. I mean, if he messes up again and again, I mean, he doesn't seem to care, or at least publicly, not like Pepe. When Pepe got sent off, good Lord, man, he was all over him. This guy, I think I got all ball, so it's okay. Maybe that's what he thinks. Like, well, I'm not going to get on top of him because it was all ball, which would be so lame. It would be so lame if that's the case, right? Luis is not here. Nketiah, Smith Rowe. Okay. These are some young guys. Miguel Aziz went to Portsmouth. El Nini. Nobody came in for him. He has 1 year left. I mean, this year he's on his last year, so he's probably gonna walk. Let's see. And then, then you come to like this area here, right? Pablo Mari. I know he probably is keeping him from sort of experience, right? But he, against certain teams with maybe like slower kind of slower kind of attacks, he's a decent backup. And I think that's the thing. And I think that's why we've kind of lowered our level a little bit. A lot of these guys, Pablo Mari, Rob Holding, Sead Kolasinac, William when he played, Granit Xhaka. A lot of these guys are backups at best at the top level. Callum Chambers, right? A lot of these guys, and even, but I also think on the other side of that spectrum, Lokonga, Bukayo Saka, maybe Ben White. I don't know yet. Smith Rowe, Gabriel Martinelli, all these people who we want to see play, they're not ready either. And so I think that's the kind of issue that we run into with Project 23. These guys aren't necessarily ready, right? We have a lot of, so we're bringing in young players, and then we're bringing in players who might be like a year or two older than them to sort of be like the guys who start, right? And so hopefully that works out. That's all I can say. I mean, I want it to work because I want to see my team. I want to see my team succeed, but I just don't know if it's going to work in the Prem. Not against the big clubs. Some of these guys are talented, but they're not that talented. They're not supremely talented. They're not gonna. I don't see, Saka. What I've seen so far with like Saka, Smith Rowe, Odegaard, guys like this. They're not gonna outgun Liverpool. They're not gonna outgun Chelsea. They're not gonna outgun Man City. I mean, even with like Man United getting Ronaldo, Pogba was dropping assists, and so what are you gonna think when Ronaldo comes in? All he's gonna have to do is look up. Ronaldo's gonna be taken off. If you didn't put Ronaldo in your fantasy lineup, you're kidding yourself. You played, congratulations. Congratulations. You played yourself. Put him in your lineup. Okay. And so these young guys can't compete with that. Right. And that's my fundamental issue with Project 23. Project 23 is not beating Man United, not beating Chelsea, not beating Manchester City, not beating Liverpool. And that's 4 spots. We need to unseat one of those teams. We can't, I don't want to become a team that we have to go into the Europa League and win it every year to get, every other year to get into the Champions League. Right. So let's just say that thing worked out. Okay. So this year, Project 23 is doing good. And we come 5th. Okay. We've knocked Leicester back. We've knocked Tottenham back. We've knocked Villa back. Right. And we come 5th. Right. And then let's just fast forward a year. We go and we make it all the way to the Europa League final. We win. And now we're in the Champions League. So now we got a trophy finally. Okay, we got a major trophy. Okay. We're gonna get with Project 23. Is Project 23 beating Bayern Munich? Are they beating PSG? Are they beating Chelsea? Again, are they beating our 4 clubs? Right? No, they're not. Are they beating Barcelona? Are they beating Real Madrid? Are they beating Atletico Madrid? Project 23 ain't beating them. Are they beating even Dortmund? Right? I don't know. And that's my issue with Project 23. I don't think that they beat the best teams in the world. And I'm not, they kind of pound on each other. It just depends on who's getting hot. But I can't see us all of a sudden pulling a Chelsea and going on some sort of magical run. I just can't see it. These guys don't, you're talking about maybe like in maybe 5 years. We're, Project 23 maturing and we have a new class of ballers. But am I selfish for saying I want something now? Right? Am I too selfish for that? Am I, I just want to see us compete. I don't want to watch a game. Like I literally for the past 2-3 years have watched games not knowing if we're gonna win or not. I can say, oh, we're gonna win or we're gonna lose. But then, I would say for the past year and a half, I think we're going to lose every game. And I'm surprised. Then that's why, like, when we played West Brom under 8s, I was screaming like it was the Champions League final, right? Because I was just happy to see us dominate a game. Not because I thought it meant anything, not because I thought here we go up the table, right, or anything like that, but because I was just happy to see us dominate a game, and I did not care who it was against. Okay? And so I just don't know if Project 23 is going to work. I really don't. I hope it does. I really want it to work, but at the highest level, I guess my early desire is for us to get top 6. If somebody botches it, Man United, Man City, maybe they get some injuries. Liverpool, somebody pulls up again. I think that window I should have been us last year because Liverpool was so poor, and they ended up getting Champions League on the very last day. Because Leicester botched it. And, I think Leicester is kind of like like if we're going Project 23, they're going like Project 25 or something, and they're on their best day they might knock a team off. But they're never going to come first, second, or third. They look good all year, and then the kind of guile and experienced guys kind of come through at the end, and they get knocked back down to their place. And so, I just don't know. So what to sum things up, I showed you guys the lineup. This is what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be reaching out to a lot of people, different groups, Facebook groups, all this type of stuff, trying to grow this channel as best I can. I'm going to reach out and try to just get it out and, just to try to grow it. I really need your help in doing that. And if I can if you can, like this video, share it, and also, subscribe, I would humbly appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow we'll do another stream. We'll have another topic to discuss, and I will be right here. Thank you so much for everybody on Twitch watching. Thank you so much for everybody on YouTube checking this out. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.